Peace and power. Once again, this is Brother Psyche, and just like always, you know, I like to build on, usually I'm building on something that has been inspired to me through something that's happened in my life. So recently, I had a young lady, I don't know her, I've never met her before, but she reached out to me. I guess she had saw a few of my videos. And she reached out to me, and she didn't tell me the full details of what was going on in her life, but it wasn't hard to tell by the way she was talking that a relationship of hers had just ended, or somebody had disappointed her, or a man that broke her heart, because the key point that she kept getting at was happiness. Happiness. Why can't she be happy? Why can't she find happiness? And in response to her, I was trying to explain a little bit of what happiness was. And she told me, she gave me a nice compliment. You know, she told me she thought that I was pretty sharp, and I appreciated the compliment. But what led me to making this video is that she said, I bet you could make me happy. That was her response. And I understood what she was trying to say, but I think that she was in error. So I told her, I cannot make you happy. And you know, I think that kind of disappointed her. But my point of telling her that was because I believe that people have a flawed understanding of what happiness is and where it comes from. And as long as you're looking for happiness outside yourself, you'll forever be unhappy. The happiness that you think you have from being with another human being is not real happiness. But I'm gonna build on it. I'm gonna break it down the way I like to break things down, and then we're gonna build that thing back up. So stay tuned, build with me. Hit the like button if you like the content. If you don't, at the end, at least watch it to the end to think over the information. And if you end up not liking it, then hit the thumbs down button. It's all good. But right after the intro, we're gonna build on it. Peace.
Yeah, you're not rocking with the best. It's been a long time coming. That a change gon' come. Yeah. All they gotta do is follow me, man. It's been a long time coming. That a change gon' come. Yeah. Know why? To the ghettos, I'm like Barack Obama. Put it in and out just like a robbery. Gotta watch old summer. Been happening in Dallas, so we ride like ghost hunters. Run numbers like Bumpy Johnson, so the kids won't go hungry. It's lonely out in the streets. Miss the wind of the junkie. The wind may blow me away tonight, without a bummer to comfort me. Won't say that I chose this life. This is the life that confronts me. Still, I'll be damned if I let them punk me. See these guns, you don't want them. I lost everything but my passion to flow. When it came back, I ain't respect it like I did before. I tried and died, so now you know. The doper that I get, the more I'm feeling broke as shit. More money mean more problems than this. Now who wants to be rich? Can I get a show of hands and show of fans? The curse that I can attend like Tony, feel like I'm still a man, Hey, if you would just call my name like Mike, I swear I'd be there with a blunt in the mic to celebrate life. It's been a long time.
So this is a flaw that I think that the young lady had, because she thought happiness came from outside of herself. She thought that somebody was supposed to come into her life and make her happy. And most people think like this. They look for a mate, or they look for people to be in their life that they think can make them happy. But the problem is, you cannot be happy without understanding what happiness is, and then developing happiness from within. First, you got to define happiness. And I'm not making up anything brand new. I'm not creating anything, because I believe that's insane. As long as the earth has been here, as long as people have been walking the planet, a lot of the problems that we have people have already found solutions. All we have to do is look through the text and look through history and find the solutions. This is called a historical method. Instead of reinventing the wheel, why don't I just find out how the wheel was invented? Just about anything that I want to do, I look into the history, I look at other people's accomplishments, and then work that thing through. So there's a process to happiness. There's a step-by-step process. But you have to get the things that come before happiness in order to get to happiness. So happiness takes a few steps. I'm gonna say 12 of them. The ancient wise teacher said that there were 12 steps to get to happiness. The 12 steps start with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Then it moves to freedom, justice, equality. Then it moves to food, clothing, shelter, love, peace, and happiness. Now you are probably looking at you thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? Well, it starts with knowledge. Because first you got to understand what knowledge is. Knowledge is the human being creates their reality based on the philosophy, based on the beliefs that you have in your mind. Those beliefs in your mind are developed based on the ideals that you hold, and those ideals come from the information that you get from around you. If you get a poor level of information, then you're going to have a poor philosophy, and then you're going to create a poor type of life. But if you dig deep, research, and make it your life mission to acquire the correct information, then you'll be operating off a correct philosophy, and then your actions will reflect that correction, and then you'll have a life that you'll find yourself pleased with. So it starts with gaining knowledge. Next is to gain wisdom. See, wisdom is the reflection of your knowledge. What does that mean, Brother Psych? Well, that means this. I can't see what you know. There's no way I can look into your head and see the things that you know, but I can look at your character and your conduct, and I can tell what you know. I can listen to the way you speak. I can see how you move and what you manifest in your reality to tell what you know. That's your wisdom. Your wisdom is your knowledge reflecting itself. So your wisdom is your wise words, your actions, your conduct, your responses to the things that's going on in reality. That's how you can tell a wise person, because see, knowledge is the information. Let's say you get a manual, and this particular manual tells you how to build a doghouse out of wood. Now let's say every time you decide to build a doghouse, you got to look at the manual until the building of the doghouse becomes habit. Now you no longer have to look at the manual. You memorize the measurements and everything. You could do it just naturally. Now building of a doghouse has become your wisdom, just like driving a car. Very few people have to look at a YouTube video or read some kind of manual before they drive a car. They know how to do it. They've been doing it so long, it just become a natural part of who they are. So driving a car has become your wisdom. So that's when knowledge moves from just things you know to basically a habitual way of responding to life itself, which is wisdom. Then you move to understanding. Understanding is the best part of life, because understanding is when you know a thing so well that you have internalized it and you know how to break it down in a way that can lead another person to knowledge. So when you move from knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you have set your first foundation on being who it is that you need to be. Then you can move to take care of the next three things that you need in life. And those next three things in life is freedom, justice, and equality. See, I created a school of thought called the Huru Shule. It's a manhood training class. Now I've said this before on other videos. The word Uhuru Shule is a Swahili term, and the term literally means liberation school. That's what the word literally means, freedom school. And it's based on the idea that all people are born free. The only thing that limits your freedom is your lack of knowledge or your ignorance. So when you gain a knowledge of something, that removes you out of the state of ignorance into a state of knowing, therefore moving you closer to freedom. So when you gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, then you move to a state of freedom. Now you are free to exercise what you understand and start manifesting your reality, manifesting the thoughts that's in your head into your real life. But here comes the thing about freedom. Freedom is checked by a law called justice. So we went from knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to freedom, justice. Because justice meaning that what goes around comes around. Reciprocity. Whatever you put out is what's going to come in. So you can know a thing but not act on it, and you'll get nothing. That's justice. Or you can know what you need to do and act on those things, and then those things will come back to you. That's justice. You could do something negative to someone, and then that person and their friends will come against you for revenge. That's justice. So justice is always being served up, and you cannot trick the universe. So once you gain freedom, you got to operate that freedom based on justice. Then it moves to equality, because once you understand these principles, then you only want to be associated with those who will become assets to you and not liabilities. Those who are moving on the same level, those who are balanced on the same wavelength that you're balanced on. And therefore, if you're trying to be free, live your life in abundance, you're not chilling with your homeboy playing dominoes in the crack house. Because even though you're not selling dope, the possibility of the crack house getting busted and you going to prison for all the dope that's found in the crack house will become a problem. So you do not want to operate in this reality with no equality. So you move from knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to freedom, justice, and equality. Once you have this basic six down, then you're able to create your foundation in this real world. And that's the basic things that you need to basically be content, which is food, clothing, and shelter. And food, clothing, and shelter has two basic meanings. It has its literal meaning, the food you need to eat to nourish your body. the clothes that you need to cover yourself and stay warm, and the shelter you need to live in. But it also has a philosophical meaning. See, food goes back to that knowledge. It's what you feed in your mind. Clothing represents character. In the story of Noah in the Bible, it says that after Noah built the ark that he got drunk. It said he got drunk and his child came in and seen his nudity and his child was cursed. You might ask yourself, why the hell was his child cursed? Because he saw his father naked. Because a child, especially a male child, when they see their father, they try to mimic their father. Their father becomes the first and the most potent example of manhood to them. So whatever they see their father do, they believe that I'm supposed to do. If they see their father doing negative activity, then they believe that they are supposed to do negative activity, and that becomes a curse to them. Well, Brother Psyche, what the hell does nudity have to be with the negative activity? Have you ever seen a person get drunk and they act a plumb fool, and then the old people would say, man, that boy got full of that Thunderbird and showed his naked behind? Man, they don't literally mean that he got literally naked. They mean that he got out of character. And that's what clothing represents in this instance. Clothing represents character. So once you gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, freedom, justice, equality, food, which is the proper knowledge that you feed your mind with, you start developing a certain type of character. People start seeing you. People hear about you before you show up. When you show up, people be amazed to see that you're not 10 feet tall because the character showed up before you did. And then you have shelter. Shelter becomes the paradigm, the life philosophy that you go out your entire life and your existence under. You protected from the elements. The true elements is rain, sleet, and snow. The negative elements is miseducation, false information, lies, trickery, and things like this. The proper shelter will protect you from all of those things. Then it moves you to the last three. The last three is love, peace, and happiness. Once you have covered your first 9, once you have gave birth to your first 9, then you move to a state of love. Love is not what you think it is. Love is not this over-emotional, stupid feeling that you get for another person. But love is the highest level of understanding. And once you're here, once you're able to have love inside the self and have that balance in the self, then you're able to have compassion for others. You're able to look at others, study them the way you study a book, and comprehend them and have the highest level of understanding for them. The truest expression of love is a verb. It ain't a word, it ain't a noun, it's a verb, it's an action. People always talk about I love you, but where's the action behind it? Because love is the ability to make a self-sacrifice in order to uplift another human being. That's what love gives you the ability to do. Love is the only emotion that takes a person that has the ability to take a person out of operating off the selfish needs and desires that we was born with. So then once you move from love, you move to a state of peace. Now, ask yourself, what's peace? Peace does not mean that you stop the fight or that you stop the argument from happening. No, peace is a little deeper than that. And in the Bible, I'm gonna use the Bible again. I think is, don't quote me on this, because I can hear the Bible thumpers now running out saying, oh, he quoted the scripture wrong. But I believe it's Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. What the revolutionary Messiah, which y'all call Jesus, Yahshua ben Yosef, he said, blessed be the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Now think about that. I would think that if you believe in God, then the highest title that you could ever get in your life is to be called a child of God. And right there, he just gave us the formula for how to reach that. He said, blessed be the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. So the peacemakers, the people that know how to make peace, are the children of God. So now you got to ask yourself, what is a peacemaker? What is peace, and how do you make it? See, peace is the absence of conflict. Peace is the removal of chaos. Peace is a balance. It's a state of harmony. See, and the ultimate peace is not between you and another person or between a state and another state. The ultimate peace is internal. See, there's always a conflict going on between mind and emotions, between what you think and what you feel. Think about it. You think to yourself every day, I need to start working out. I need to start working out. But every day when you get off work, you don't feel like it. So you lay on the couch, put on Netflix, and you just chill. Think about it. So when you create that harmony between what you think and what you feel, between your mind and between your body, then there is a peace. There is no longer a conflict. There is no longer a tug of war, because pressure busts pipes. And there can be no peace when that type of conflict exists. So when you can come to that level of peace, then you can move to the ultimate goal of what the young lady was asking me for. And that's happiness. And happiness is understanding the truth of who you are and what you are, being content with that, and all right with being who you are. See, true happiness comes from a high level of self-esteem, from believing it, knowing your inner truth, living your inner truth, and being all right with being who you are. And the only way you could do that, the first step to building self-esteem, is to stop lying to yourself. Is to be honest with yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. To keep your word, to be on time, to do things like this. That's where happiness comes from. Because once you start operating on that level, you're able to look at yourself and you start saying to yourself, man, I'll keep my word. Word is bond. I stand on my own 2 feet. I am a man. I am a woman. You're able to say that to yourself, and you're able to confidently look in the mirror and like the person that you see. That's where happiness comes from. And only then can you share your level of happiness with somebody else. But here's a caveat. Here's a warning. You can't bring another person happiness. So don't allow people that have not learned these 12 steps into your life, because they will bring their dissatisfaction into your life, expecting you and expecting your job to be to bring them happiness. And that will do nothing but bring you chaos all over again. Hopefully y'all got something from this build. Hopefully it made a little sense. Peace and power.